Yeah, home run number 2 on the year for Wilmer Flores. So I will allow him a little bit of emotion. And he took the bat and he just kind of flung it toward the dugout like, yeah. And I'm sure in the dugout you could see the reaction was like, oh, God, thank God.
Oh, God, thank God. Yes.
Seriously.
Thank God.
I mean, after what you were through, the road trip was so great and so thrilling and so exciting, and play the kids, and these guys are exciting, and we're back in it, and you won 4 of 6, and you'd won a 10 of 13 since Mark Willard's famous rant, and then things had gone to hell in a handbasket rather quickly. Losers of 6 in a row until today.
Jim and Woodacre on Willard and Dibs. Hi, Jim. What are you doing?
I'm a caregiver. I'm sitting here in a surgical place waiting for my client to come out of her procedure, but that's not why I called.
Okay. I didn't think so, but yeah.
Thank you for giving me a chance. I'm just tagging on what you're saying about you can't just let anybody go out on the field because you think you got to give them a break. A good analogy is a symphony will audition, let's say, violinists. X number of people come in, and if nobody is up to snuff, they don't hire anybody.
Yep.
Yeah. And somebody's got to play shortstop, Jim.
Well, what?
Somebody's got to play shortstop, so they do have to hire somebody for that position. But your analogy is well taken.
Sir, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh,
but the person that plays shortstop, can I finish?
Please.
The person that plays shortstop has to have certain abilities so they don't flub up. That's all. You can't hire a musician that's going to hit the wrong notes or make errors.
Well, Jim, the spot that we're all in right now is that a bunch of Giants are hurt. So let's acknowledge that for a second.
And my point is, even if you don't have a maestro at a position, you still have to have somebody play that position.
I totally get where
I don't know if Jim got that.
I get where he is.
Batting 7th and playing shortstop. No, we don't have anyone eligible. We don't have a maestro. Shortstop will remain vacant today. We will not have a second chair on the cello.
It's not a bad idea. I mean, I don't know. Maybe how about we go with 2 pitchers instead of a shortstop?
That would be novel.
Have them throw 2 balls at the batter. Maybe they won't hit it so consistently.
Yeah, have one guy actually throw at somebody, which they actually did dot somebody today. Made me feel good.
I don't think it was on purpose.
Should have been.
Did they dot someone?
Hicks hit a guy.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I think the second inning.
He just lost control.
Whatever. You hit somebody with a baseball and you win. I don't think that it's coincidence, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, I get where he's coming from, but there are a bunch of Giants hurt. So for me, let's take ourselves on the journey we've just experienced and just acknowledge it. The kids were not called up because you wanted to see the kids. The kids were called up because you didn't, as you just said, have any other human bodies who could play those positions. The problem is that it went well at first, and that gets everybody excited. And I totally understand that. And I would love for the kids to stay, but they've got to earn that. I think it's a very strange thought that the kids get to stay because they're kids, because they're homegrown. That is to me, a very defeatist attitude. So defeatist to be like, well, let's just see what they got. Who does that?
It's a loser mentality is what it is.
Teams that do that are like openly not trying. And I am very aware that some of the teams that are not trying have a record very similar to the Giants. So nothing in here is defensive for the Giants or Farhan Zaidi. This is much more about a strategic approach as the season continues to unfold. And it is interesting to me, and I think we would both love to hear from some of you who are somehow bothered by Luis Matos being sent down, to hear the true reasons why. Like, if that bothers you, why? And is there an answer that doesn't have to do with, hell, this season's not going anywhere. Let's just see what they got. Because even if that's your opinion, and God knows the months may prove you to be right, there's no way in hell there's anyone in the Giants organization thinking that right now. June 5th. Hell.
We're one game out of the wild card. We're not doing anything.
Bleep it.
Right.
Let's just be all 22-year-olds.
We got Snell, Ray, and Cobb eventually all coming back, we think. Forget it. What are we even doing here? We're a game out of the wild card. I mean, who could possibly make up a game over the next 99?
This has to be a parlay. It has to be a parlay. It's a pick two. You got to be a kid, and you got to play well to stay.
Right.
You have to play well. Elliot Ramos has carved the role. Did you all see what Elliot did today? Listen to this string of at-bats for Elliot Ramos, who hit a game-tying home run last night in the 8th inning. Listen to what he did today. Homer, single, walk, 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 walk. That would be 6 for 6 on the on-base percentage.
Yep.
With the OPS up to 918, currently ranking second in the National League among outfielders.
It went up 71 points today, his OPS.
With at least 100 plate appearances.
Right.
That's Elliot Ramos. You, my friend, can stay because you're crushing it, and that's delicious. I got no interest on June 5th in, let's see what he can do. No. No, there are games to win. Lots of them. Lots of games left. And they've got to win them. They have got to win a lot more of them than they lose.
Yeah.
And that's the way this team was built. That's the way it's going to operate, and they're absolutely right to do it. And to be honest with you right now, I didn't think I would feel this way 2 weeks ago. I'm about to say something that's going to sound absurd, I would bet. I can't wait till Nick Ahmed gets back, which is an absolutely unthinkable thought. I hate that I feel that way. But my God, can someone go over to shortstop and pick up the ball when it comes to you?
On the ground?
That's it.
And throw it?
Super bonus, be in the right spot when you're supposed to be in the right spot. Play the kids. Give me a break. Play the baseball players. We're looking for some. Anybody who looks like one, you stay. If you're running around out there with no clue what to do, or your glove doesn't work anymore because it's scary, it's the big leagues now, then you're screaming, I'm not ready. I got nothing against you, but baseball is built in a certain way where there is somewhere to go when you're not ready. It's called the minor leagues. Please leave and let us know when you're ready. Elliot Ramos is telling everyone he's ready. You stay.
And if he falls into a spot like Matos did, where Matos went 9 for 59 over the course of 14 games with only 3 batted in, and he drew 3 walks during that time. His on-base percentage was 191 over 2 weeks, and you got Austin Slater coming back, a veteran, and you at least want to see what you have with Austin Slater. If Slater goes into a 2-week or a 3-week funk where it's like, oh God, Austin, you really are, maybe you're done. Maybe your career is not what we thought it would be. Then you can revisit it. Hopefully you had Matos go down and get a little breather and he comes back and he can make the adjustment because the league adjusted to him. Now he has to make the adjustment to what they did to him. It doesn't mean that Matos is done for the year by any stretch.
No.
But now you go with Slater and you hope that he can perform. And if Elliot Ramos goes into a funk like Matos did, then you're going to have to make a move there too. It's the nature of what you do with younger players.
It's so funny to me how many people would be like, we love urgency. We love urgency. And in the next sentence, they're like, let's just see what happens.
Right.
No, urgency. Get out of here if you're not ready. And listen, let's talk about Luis Matos for a second. I would like to buy shares of Luis Matos because Luis is someone who has shown that he will go to the minors with direction, work on things, and get better. I thought he's still not great, but I thought he came back as a better outfielder this year than he was last year. I thought he did certain things at the plate better than what he did last year. But the bottom line is he and Casey Schmidt still have a case of let's call them the swingies. They got a case of the swingies. And that is when they're not feeling great at the plate and they're not seeing the ball great, they fall back on the exact same thing. Just huck the bat out there. Just swing. Who knows, you might hit it. And you can't do that in the bigs.
Right.
These pitchers are way too good. They smell it from around the corner. They just throw you a curve about a foot outside, and they've got you. That at bat from Casey Schmidt, it was the first or second inning last night with the bases juiced and I think nobody out. That's an awful, inexcusable at bat. 3 pitches, and you wave at him when this guy shows he had no clue where the strike zone was. The impatience is overwhelming right now with these kids, and I get it. You're pressing. You want to have the big moment. Like Casey hit 2 home runs against the Yankees. I bet it felt better than sex. But no, you can't have that on the big league roster if you've got other options. So that's all we're talking about right now. Nobody's saying Austin Slater or Nick Ahmed are wonderful players who deserve new contracts. But they're big leaguers. They're in their 30s. They've been in the big leagues for a long time. And if someone else isn't banging the door down, they get the gig. Because
That's
they're not
the way it works.
Right, because they're not overwhelmed by the moment.
Exactly. Even though Nick Ahmed is maybe going to go 1 for 4 on a good day, he's just not a very good hitter at this point.
But he can pick up the ball when you hit it to
That's
him.
what you're looking at first and foremost. Matos was 10 for 26 in his opening week or so in the bigs, including what he have 17 runs batted in over the course of 7 games.
He caught a heater.
Then he goes 9 for 59 because the league made the adjustment, like Casey Schmidt last year. Oh, if I throw this 5 to 7 inches off the plate, he's still going to swing at it? Okay, maybe we'll try that for a while. So now Matos, like Schmidt had to do, went down, made the adjustment, and last night the at-bat was not good, and today Casey Schmidt was rewarded with a DNP as a way to kind of say, all right, Casey, go ahead and watch today. See if you can't pick something up. We're going to go with Tyler Fitzgerald at shortstop. Casey's not done. He's not getting sent down. But yesterday was, I think, alarming for Bob Melvin looking at the young players. He and Wisely both looked like rookies.
Well, I didn't think I'd say this because Ahmed in his rehab, I'm not going to say he had a setback. When he went out there, it didn't feel as good as they wanted it to feel right away. So I don't know how close he is to coming back. It is possible that Luciano is healthy before Ahmed. I don't know that, but I'm just throwing a scenario out there. And if Luciano is healthy before Ahmed, I'm sending Schmidt down and keeping Luciano up. Because my goodness, if you're all just going to go out there and kick the ball all over the place, at least give me Marco's bat. Because Casey going out there waving at things at the plate and then also not catching the ball, what's the upside?
Well, the upside is his glove. But to your point, if he goes out and has a game like he did last night where it was Luciano-esque, then you're right. What are we doing? I mean, you've got Casey Schmidt, who has been better hitting this year than he was, at the end of last year, certainly. But really, if you want to go with the glove, it's Nick Ahmed. I still think that if Luciano is healthy, I would still stick with Casey Schmidt and have, you got Fitzgerald at short, you got Wisely at short. It's unfortunately right now, it's a big time, it's not a platoon. And like with quarterbacks, if you have more than one quarterback, you don't have one quarterback.
Correct.
And that's kind of the situation at shortstop right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, I somehow feel more comfortable right now with Fitzgerald over there than any of the other young guys. And Tyler brings some interesting things offensively. He obviously he was overwhelming AAA pitchers a week and a half ago, but he's also got a ton of speed. You know what I mean? Like that game they won against the Phillies 1-0, they lucked out because Tyler Fitzgerald was the runner that went out, the auto runner that went out to second base. And 2 medium deep fly balls got him to third and then got him home. And not every runner is able to make those plays. There's an offensive dynamic he brings that I don't hate. And while he's not a dynamic shortstop, he does usually, when you hit the ball at him, pick up the ball. He picks up the ball. And I'm pretty sure that's what's needed from your shortstop. So this is not any sort of a narrative in support of like Austin Slater and Nick Ahmed and the excitement that they'll bring.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, my mind is nowhere in this space of where I think a lot of people are, which is that if you've got these two equal things, you know Nick Ahmed's never going to be a great hitter. Austin Slater struggling this year, and even in his best years, it's like, well, he's not like some sort of overwhelming player. Why not give the reps to the kid? Because the kid might become a really, really good player. Oh, sorry. That's what September's for if you're out of it.
Exactly.
That's not what June is for. So that's a no from me.
Dog. And you're not out of it, and by any stretch, you're not out of it. And I'm just looking at the upcoming schedule, and you've got 19 consecutive games starting Friday at Texas, 19 consecutive games against teams that are sub 500. And I'll say it again for effect, because it's your expression, and I've started to kind of use it off the air, and the expression is time to boogie. And when you're sitting at 30 and 33, and you've got 19 straight games, Mark, against teams that are sub 500. Texas, Houston, the Angels, Chicago, St. Louis, Chicago. 19 straight games against sub 500 teams. It's time to boogie.